Hello, Andrew Ivan here, just giving you a quick, well, it's not going to be quick, it's going to be a little bit more in-depth review of this vintage Marshall JCM 850 watt lead amp. Let's just go over the controls real quick. This is a 2-channel amp. The first channel, of course, just has volume, treble, and bass. The second channel, the lead channel, has a gain, volume, treble, bass, mid-tone. Now this amp also has a reverb and a master volume. And you know, the master volume is really important if you say have this amp and you're in your bedroom at night and you have parents or whatever and you want to practice at a very low level. You can do that with a master volume. Now the normal non-master volume versions of Marshall amps, they're just way too loud to do that. But anyway, I'll demonstrate on what I'm talking about. And I think you'll find that even at any volume, that you can get just about any tone you want, whether it be clean or distorted with this amp. And you know, that is what I really like about this amp. I can go into any room, any gig, and not have to worry about really having to crank the amp up. Now the back of the amp, of course, the amp gives you, availability for an extension speaker, and you can change the ohms on those speakers. A couple of fuses. This is the volume level out for a direct line out. So it kind of takes the speaker out of play. It has an effects loop, and then of course the Footswitch. The Footswitch on this amplifier that originally came with it has long since broken. It was not a very good switch at all. So right now I have it set up to just switch channels and not reverb, because I keep the reverb on all the time. Now the original speaker with this particular amp is out, so this isn't the original speaker. This is the Celestion Vintage G12 8 ohm speaker, 12 inches. This speaker was made in England. It's kind of hard to find. And quite frankly, now that I'm trying to break in the speaker on this amplifier every year, that speaker just keeps getting better and better. It's quite amazing to me that I blew the other speaker, but I did. This speaker apparently has the watt handling capabilities where I'm not going to blow it. But some of the downsides of this speaker, of this amplifier, I should say, it sounds great, but it is a tube amplifier. So over time, you're going to have to get it serviced here and there. New speakers, new power tubes, new preamp tubes. And, it's an old amp, and I've had to get it tuned up a couple of times. So, that's the problem with owning, all tube amplifier. But that goes quite right across the board. Now, like I said, you can get just about any sound you want out of this amp, I believe, that would work with just about any band you're in. Whether you're a heavy metal band, country, jazz, whatever. I believe I can get those sounds. The one thing about this amp, and I will demonstrate, is that when you have the master volume all the way up and the clean channel, all the way down, you can get a very clean, very ballsy, kind of jazzy kind of sound. I'll go over that soon. And you can get distorted sounds out of the clean channel too by simply turning the master volume all the way down and then the volume on the clean channel all the way up. Anyway, so let's go over some of these. Anyway, right now I have it set up, which is what everyone wants to hear anyway with a Marshall, with the clean channel, and I'm going to go over some of the dirtier sounds you can get out of the clean channel. Now, like again, I have the master volume on 1, and I have the volume on the clean side, you know, a little bit halfway or so. Now, it's important if you want to get the dirty sounds on it, the volume on your guitar has to be all the way up. So I'll start with the volume low and kind of work my way up. You can see it's pretty clean when I have the volume low. Now when I start to crank up the volume, that's a pretty distorted sound, and that's probably about, of course it gets more distorted as I crank up the volume on the amplifier, but you know, that's pretty almost gig level, pretty distorted. So I mean, so there are a lot of, you know, in between kind of, I mean, I'll turn it up a little bit. See what we can get out of it. Pretty good sustain on the clean channel. Now let's get some clean sounds out of the clean channel. I have the master volume all the way up, and now I'll start with the volume on the guitar very low. Turn the volume on the guitar all the way up. That's you know, and even if I turn the volume even higher on the clean channel, I'm still going to get. Now I have the guitar volume all the way up, so let me turn it about halfway. And turn the volume a little bit up on this. So you can see you can definitely get some really clean sounds out of this amplifier. I mean, clean is not hard for this amp, and you can get good volume level too with that clean sound. Now, of course, everybody knows that any Marshall you get, you're going to get some distorted sounds. Now, I'm going to start with the master volume all the way up, and on the lead channel, and I'll start with the volume really low on the lead channel. You can see that it gets them for now. I would call this the more tighter distorted sound when the volume is all the way up. The master volume is all the way up. Now if I turn the master volume all the way down and I start cranking up the volume on the lead channel, let's see how that sounds. Anyway, you can see that the volume levels on that, or I should say the distortion levels are pretty good. Now, let's talk about getting distorted levels at very low levels, low volume levels, like practicing in your bedroom. Just crank this. Now this is, this is like really quiet, low level. You can see I'm not yelling into the microphone to write. I mean, even at this very low level, I'm getting some sustain. Believe me, my neighbors would not mind me playing at this level. They probably get a little upset when I jam. See, that's what I'm talking about with this amp. Any sound at any volume. And let's face it, getting a good distorted sound at a very low volume is hard to do with most amps, but you can do this with this amp. Now, if I just turn it up just a little bit more. That's still not really loud, volume. I mean, you could definitely practice in your bedroom with that volume. Of course, getting the clean sound at a low volume is not an issue at all. Now, well, that's my review of this amp. If you have any questions, be more than happy to answer any questions. I see these used come up here and there on Reverb and Craigslist and all that. They range anywhere from $800 at the lowest. That's a great price, but it's usually kind of beat up. And I've seen them as high as $1,400. So that's the range I've been seeing these come up in if you're looking to buy one of these. And there's a lot of them out there. they're not what I would call a hard amplifier to get a hold of. Now, I understand that there's a version of this amplifier that actually has a solid state preamp. This is the tube version of that, and they look almost identical, so don't get fooled by that. Anyway, Andrew Eifert signing off. Please like the video if you found this informative, and please subscribe to my site. It will help me get some better equipment to edit. I am pretty much going straight through. I'm not editing anything. I don't have that capability. Anyway, so please subscribe, please like. Hey, tell your friends. Andrew Eifert signing off.